Good morning. Let's dive right in here this morning. I hesitated to do this because this is kind of a daily routine with me, and it's a conversation I have over and over and over again, but I have not done a video about it. So that means there's a lot of people out there who are not having conversations with real estate agents, or they're getting their information from someplace else. And that's navigating these markets that we're in. We talk about the markets all the time. Um, the primary goal here is to empower you to know how to navigate and to manage your expectations of what it's going to be like if you're a seller putting your house on the market, if you're a buyer trying to buy a house. You need to know what to expect and how to react to those, like anything else in life. And you need accurate information to do that. So we're going to take a look at that. And this is a conversation I will have several times today when I finish this, because I'm a realtor. I read this information all the time. I deal with it all the time. So I know what market we're in. I know what to expect. And it's my job to help you to get in that same perspective. If you're going to do your job that you're doing today, you have to have that perspective to operate through it. So let's work on that. Try to get um, done as quickly as I can, because there is a lot of and this isn't interest just our real estate industry jargon. It's important for you to know, because it makes a difference in the pace that you're going to keep, in the pricing, and the power that you're going to have in that transaction. And knowing the difference and understanding is is makes you confident in the decision-making process. So let's start with the seller's market. How do I tell that I'm in a seller's market? This is before you call your realtor and ask. There's fewer homes. So because there's fewer homes available, the demand is up, supply is down, fierce competition. Okay, a buyer's market, exact opposite. There are more homes for sale than there are buyers. And the advantage, you're going to have the advantage of looking more before you have to make a decision. In a hot market, you may not have that time. That means that you need to notice the pace of the sales around you, the availability of listings, and how close the final sale price is. Because in a seller's market, it'll either be the exact price or even higher in a seller's market. In a buyer's market, there's going to be a difference, because there's going to be a lot of bargaining back and forth. So you need a strategy for both scenarios. Wherever you lie in this, you need a strategy. So let's talk strategy for seller's market. For sellers, you need a strategic price. You're going to have a look at what homes are selling for in your neighborhood specifically. That's going to help give you an idea. But remember, the price that you put out there in a seller's market is an invitation to come look. You want it to generate the maximum interest that you can get on the house. So you can get strong offers. And then you need to prioritize your presentation. That means invest in staging if you need to. That means listen to your realtor. Basically, she'll tell you how he or she will give you all the tips in getting your home. And once we do a walkthrough, it's easy to see the most important things that need to be done in the home. You need curb appeal, of course, professional photography. It's a very competitive environment for the seller. You have to do, and then you're going to have to be ready to move, because this is a fast market for a seller. So you're going to have to be able to move quickly and to operate quickly. Even an average, in a seller's market, your house could be on the market a day, a week, and then you've got 30 days to move, 45 days at the most to prepare all this. So just keep that in mind. For a buyer's market, you have to be prepared to buy. That means you're ready to buy today before you even start looking, because you're not going to have time. You need to be approved and ready to go in the seller's market because it's going to move quickly. And if you don't have that approval, you've already talked to that banker, and that banker is waiting for you to make that call. Found my house. This is what it is, and let's go. So you have to be able to. And in the seller's market, you're going to have a whole lot less leverage on anything. So you may want to make you make an earnest deposit on the house. Usually doesn't require too much, but in homes that you really are interested in and you don't want the buyer to change their mind, you're going to up that deposit. Hopefully you're able to do that. I might get a deposit from one person at $5,000. The next one puts down 25. What do you think they're going to pick? Yeah, you're right. The one that's got the money, the earnest money. And finally, the last thing, as a buyer, when you're in a seller's market, you need to have a firm place where you're going to walk away. Because so many times you get caught up in negotiation back and forth, and you really want the house. It's really important to you. You have to say, no, I can't go any higher. And oftentimes, and I've had this over and over again, the seller will take a better offer and it doesn't work out, and they come back to you. So stay within your comfort zone is all I'm saying. Now let's talk about the buyer's market. And that's easy to spot. Whenever there's a lot of inventory and sales are slowing down, not happening fast, the power shifts to the buyer. Why? Because the homes aren't selling fast. You've got these sellers that's, prepared the home. They've done everything right, and nothing's happening. Not too many people are coming to look. Open houses, and it slows everything down. And for sellers, it would help you in this buyer's market if you could offer some concessions to pay for whatever, the inspection, the closing costs, the realtor for the buyer, whatever, or just $1 concession that they can spend however they want to. Sometimes that's the easiest thing to do. And give them every reason to choose your home. Because they're facing all these options, all these homes for sale. So there has to be a reason. There's a reason they looked at it, or we wouldn't be here. But give them a reason to choose yours. Be patient, be flexible, and open to adjustments for the sellers in the buyer's market, and expect them, because what you laid out is not what you're going to get, basically. It's there. You'll get feedback from the buyers. There probably will be improvements and concessions in lots of ways. And for the buyers, take your time. Look at every home that you think you might be interested in, and do your due diligence, including robust inspections and appraisals to make sure that it's worth the price. And negotiate better terms. You're in a stronger position as a buyer in a buyer's market to negotiate not only price, but contingencies, repairs, concessions, and like I said, even covering closing costs. Now, in conclusion to this, you have to realize that the market is constantly shifting from one to the other. And you could take a county or a state, and part of it is a seller's market, part of it's a buyer's market. It depends on the local job growth, seasonal changes. What was true 6 months ago when you started thinking about this is not true now. But let's face it, if you try to time the market when you need to move, especially if it's a job or whatever your reasoning is, it's that would be very difficult to do, if not impossible. So you have to learn to negotiate in either one of these markets to get to where you need to be. And that's where we can help you. So thank you for joining me. And excuse me. Any questions about buyers or sellers market, please leave them. I'll be happy to answer them. Linda Hollington, Coldwell Banker Paradise. Thank you for joining me. See you again soon.